you for joining me for this conversation in my Supervisee Spotlight series. So it's just about you and I having an informal conversation, Wendy, about how you found supervision, how you feel about us working together, and anything that comes to mind when you think about our journey together and our relationship together in clinical supervision.
Okay, so as you say, my name is Wendy, and I'm a qualified counsellor. I've been qualified since 2019, but I had the privilege of meeting Sarah back in 2017. It's been a fantastic journey of working together in supervision since then. Sarah is an extremely safe pair of hands, I feel really confident and comfortable being able to meet up with her. In the time that Sarah's been supervising me, we've not only met face to face but also online as well. Actually, our Zoom supervisions are just as effective and just as valuable online as they were when we first started meeting face to face.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much for sharing those things. Feels like you said such a lot there in what you've shared about our journey together when we first met, which was nearly 5 years ago, how that's taken you from, a counsellor in training to a qualified counsellor, and our experience of face-to-face and online. And it's so great to hear that the online is as valuable, which is brilliant. Can I ask you to share a bit more about, what's your experience been like of working together in supervision?
Well, it's really interesting. When we first met, I felt a real connection to you. And when you said that you offered supervision, for me, it just felt like a bit of a no-brainer to not ask you to be my supervisor. And I remember our very first review after we'd been working together maybe 3 months. And I had a picture, and that's something I really appreciate about our work together, that you really understand me and where I'm coming from. And the picture I was thinking about was the seesaw. And how I was sitting on one end of the seesaw and you were sitting on the other end. And the client very much sat in the middle of the seesaw. So you were balancing me out and keeping the client safe at all times. I remember you saying, even when we contracted for supervision, I'm like your goalkeeper. I will keep your net. And I felt that very keenly. And again, just as I was thinking this afternoon, it's felt a little bit like we've been on a roller coaster together. And you've been sitting beside me in that car, if you like, on the roller coaster the whole time. And it's almost like the ethical framework comes down and you've brought that down like the safety barrier in the car. It's just felt like such a secure place to be. Or your ability to mold supervision around my practice. Just now that I'm qualified, when I was thinking about this the other day, it feels much more like you're my co-pilot, sort of helping me to navigate the course. And I just found all those pictures really helpful.
Yeah, wow, what a visual description that I'm truly grateful for of our counselling journey, supervision journey together, and your counselling journey, so you becoming a counsellor. And I can hear there how supportive you found that, and how we've referenced, the ethical framework, and we've brought that around your client work and kept you balanced and not feeling overwhelmed whilst the client's at the forefront of the work. And I remember that image of that seesaw as well. With you on one side and me on the other, and then the client firmly at the forefront of the work. That's so significant. And then I can hear how our relationship has changed and our supervision's shifted in relation to your growth as you became qualified.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's really interesting because I was thinking, you've always sort of championed me. You've
Oh,
wanted the best for me,
yeah.
but you haven't spoon-fed me, which wouldn't have been the right way to supervise me anyway. So you have challenged me and encouraged me to take responsibility, because obviously that is mine to take.
Yeah.
And you've really celebrated me as well. So you've been with me through the real high points when I qualified, through the progress that clients have made in my care. But yeah, also in the more challenging moments as well. And you've been like that running coach for me, reminding me, however hard I found a particular piece of work, that I can do it and I am capable and I am a good enough counsellor.
Yes. Wow. What a powerful message. Good enough counsellor. It's huge, isn't it? Because I guess what you're describing there, Wendy, is a bit about what you get from me in supervision. So it's this challenge, it's been championed, it's been celebrated and celebrating clients as well. And as you said, it's not this spoon feeding, it's the opposite almost, challenging, championing, and celebrating and allowing you to take responsibility and growth.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So how would you describe, your experience of me as your supervisor? Is there anything else that comes to your mind?
I just feel that anybody who chooses to work with you in a supervisory capacity will be in a really safe pair of hands.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And is it okay if I invite you to expand on what that means, that safe pair of hands to you, and what you think someone would gain if they were to work together in supervision?
I think it's reassurance. It's knowing that you will work with your supervisee in the way that best suits them.
Mm,
So
yeah.
you don't sort of state this is the way that we will have supervision. I've always appreciated the fact that when we've met, we've sort of had an agenda that sort of helps to keep us on track. You're very flexible, and that's really, really helpful. Just, yeah, you meet people where they're at.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. So meeting people where they're at, not being prescriptive in supervision, creating that agenda so it makes sure that you get what you want from supervision, and also with my supervisor hat on, we make sure the clients are being brought forward into supervision, and having that flexible approach. Yeah, and that's what safe pair of hands means.
Exactly, yeah.
Whilst we're on this topic that feels important to share that you haven't yet shared.
I think one thing, there was a short period of time where we were unable to work together in supervision. And I was fortunate enough to work with another supervisor, but it just felt like I'd come home when we were able to work together again,
Yes.
which was really reassuring.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because that was to do with my health, wasn't it? An accident that I had that came out of the blue, which meant you and I had to pause our work together whilst I was in hospital and having those treatments. Um, and you had a different experience of another supervisor then, and then you came back to work with me, and it felt like you were coming home. That's huge. Amazing. Thank you for elaborating on that then. So I guess there's different experiences, but what it's felt like we were able to do is come home back to re-establishing that kind of safe, supportive connection that you had, to allow you to practice with your clients. Brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing your insights and experience with me about how you found our relationship together and what I offer. I'm really truly grateful for that, and it's a pleasure to be able to work with you in supervision. I really
Oh,
mean
no,
that.
thank you.